Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Johnston County Planning Board. This is our June edition of the Planning Board, and as is our custom, we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I ask Mr. Little to lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on our agenda is approval of the minutes from the May 21st Planning Board meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion approved by Mr. Little, second by Ms. Holmes. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next on our agenda, actually I'll have one announcement before we move on to the subdivisions portion. We have received a request to table rezoning case 24-11. So if you're looking at the agenda, that is the first rezoning case on our agenda. If you are here for case 24-11, my expectation is we will most likely table that one. So we don't, unless you want to just hang out with us for the evening, be advised that one will likely be held at the next, the July Planning Board meeting. So next on our subdivision, on our,
Motion for that?
what's that?
Do we need a motion for that?
We'll wait till we get there, but just want to let everybody know. Next on our agenda are subdivisions. Just a reminder, the vast majority of land in Johnston County is on agricultural residential, which means you can farm it or build houses on it. So with that being said, subdivisions are not up to our purview to determine if they're appropriate for a specific area, purely that they meet our codes and ordinances. So if you are going to provide testimony on a subdivision, given that we are the final approval body, I will ask that you please stand and raise your right hand and be sworn in. Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and this is your solemn affirmation?
I do.
All right, thank you. Mr. Marr.
Okay, first up is Big Pine 2. Its owner and developer is Cloudbreak Investments, LLC. Surveyors or engineers Adams and Hodge Engineering. Its location is the 100 block of Big Pine Road in Clayton Township, served by McLemore Fire and CNS Rescue Squad. It's 10.89 acres, 9 lots proposed, Johnston County Public Water. Individual septic tanks. Traffic count is not available for Big Pine Road. This portion of Big Pine Road does not appear on the comprehensive transportation plan as needing improvement. It is within the environmentally sensitive area, however, no floodplain appears on the parcel. In regards to direct driveway access onto Big Pine Road, major subdivisions to be located on a local road shall be designed so that there are no more than one direct residential driveway connection per 500 feet along the same side of a local road, unless it can be demonstrated that the proposed subdivision cannot be physically designed, that no reasonable alternative exists, or it would create an unreasonable hardship without a corresponding public benefit to prohibit individual driveway access onto the local road. Also from the Johnston County Land Design Manual, creation of 4 more lots where no easement exists and where the parent tracts have direct road frontage and easement shall not be allowed. The development must dedicate a right-of-way meeting the requirements of the section. A waiver may be allowed if determined by the planning board that in pursuit of the section a hardship is created upon the property that provides no benefit to the safety, welfare, and quality of life to the public.
All right, any questions of staff? Thank you, sir. Who'd like to be heard on behalf of Big Pine 2?
Good evening. Donnie Adams, Adams and Hodge Engineering, 314 East Main Street in Clayton. My firm is handling the planning and engineering on this project. This one might look a little familiar to you. It came before you guys back in September of last year. You guys approved it almost exactly like it is. I want to tell you the difference of what's going on. After being approved, we got ready to start construction drawings and did additional environmental work. We knew there was a riparian buffer. We had good news on the buffer as far as the neighborhood goes. The The buffer went away, however, the wetlands exceeded what the expected impact of the riparian buffer was, so basically cut off a portion, made a portion of the site unusable. So to be able to do that environmentally without making any impacts, we withdrew the major subdivision approval and went through a minor subdivision process to create the lots along the front, the other frontage. So that is not part of what's in front of you tonight, but that's what got us here. And so, speaking to what's in front of you, these 9 lots, again, this is basically the same layout that came before you, except the previous one had 2 more lots that were where the other 2 are now. Our driveways are in the same location, the shared accesses, they are 505 feet apart. And I can go into details about moving from a typical cul-de-sac street to this particular layout, which is what we did last time when we came before you guys and showed that that we were able to produce better lots, no more density. I could do the same here. We could end up with 9 lots in a cul-de-sac, but we end up, and I have it on flash drive if you'd like to see it, but we end up with some lots that we have 4 of them are basically double frontage lots. 1 or 2 of them are squeezed on the corner that are small to be able to get the 9 lots out of it. So all that being said, we basically want to go back to the approval that was given minus just reduction in the overall property.
Any questions?
So it's still just the 2 driveway access points on Big Pine Road, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Thanks, sir. Anyone else like to be heard as it relates to Big Pine 2? All right, bring it back to staff.
Staff recommendation remains denial due to the driveway separation and lack of dedicated right-of-way meeting the standards of the major subdivision. He said it was over 500. I wasn't sure, and it looked like it was close to another driveway on that road. Was the reason for denial on that one.
I make a motion to stick with the original approval and approve again.
Second.
Motion for approval by Ms. Holmes, second by Mr. Little. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next on our agenda is Turlington Tract.
Okay, you're not going to see a map in your packets for this because after tabling again last month, we just got a updated version of it late yesterday afternoon, and the applicant's bringing it before you tonight. I'll let him address that when he gets up here. Turlington Tract, Long Rock Land Development LLC, Tony and Diane Johnston's the owner. Developers Benson Hardy Road Land LLC, surveyors Freedom Firm. Its location is 3020 and 3902 Benson Hardy Road in the Elevation Township. It's served by the West Johnston Fire District and EVS Rescue Squad. It's 32.34 acres, 33 lots proposed. Johnston County Public Water, individual septic. Traffic count's not available. This portion of Benson Hardy Road does not appear on the comprehensive transportation plan as needing improvement.
All right, any questions of staff? Thanks, sir. Who'd like to be heard on behalf of Turlington Tract? Give us your name and address, please.
How you doing? Good evening, board. Carlos Bagley, 63 Watkins Road, Clayton, North Carolina, and pass out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Which didn't really change. We didn't add any lots. We basically,
Do you want me to pass them down, make it easier for you?
There's 2 there.
Got it.
Which one? Which one do you want the map?
If There's some extra. Get one to Brad.
Feel like it was. You got one more, Matt.
It's the same one, yeah.
Here,
Oh,
here, it's fine.
You got it?
He's got it.
There you go.
I can wing it.
I don't mind.
Is there another one? That's okay. I probably do it on memory lane. All right, well, appreciate you hearing us, board. We've tabled this a few times, working through some, the voluntary ag district, which was part of this project, and they've since removed that. We're still proposing 33 lots. There's been some conversations with the owners, with adjacent property, stub, and that's kind of what this reflects, a stub between 22 and 23. And then there's an easement that runs on the northern property. Right now, we plan to get rid of the easement and use the road to connect, and then provide Mr. Pleasant, the owner, 50-foot easement off the cul-de-sac with a stub to the northern land. Typical NCDOT roads will get permits through the county with stormwater, erosion control. I didn't show the topo well, but there is a pond to the east of 29 and 28 on Mr. Pleasant's property, I believe he's concerned about. I feel like I can take the water to the west and not come to his pond as far as roadway water. Now, the back of those lots and the house may sheet flow in that pond. I don't see that being a problem with stormwater, but I can answer any questions if y'all might have.
This does match what was on,
It does not.
It does not.
There's added,
yeah, I see the easement. Okay,
22 and 23.
Yes, sir.
And also the stub out to the property to the north.
gotcha, okay.
And I will say I didn't show the topo. I should have showed the topo, but the stub between 22 and 23 is on a ridge in high ground. So if I was wanting to develop his land, that's where I would put it.
It's in Google. Can you, Braxton, can you pull up the Google map of that site? I'm just trying to, just want to see the pond. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
So we feel like we could bring the stormwater to the west, down the wooded area, and actually to the north. So to do minimal impact to said pond.
And that privacy berm is that right there at the pond? Or not? I couldn't tell. It says that lots 30 and 33.
Yeah, that's,
In it right there at the pond.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
talks with the owner, he wanted a privacy berm, is my understanding.
Okay.
but you're taking the sheet flow west.
Well, the sheet flow off the back of 20, 27, 28, those lots in there would naturally flow that way. There's a ridge
Yeah,
right there. Sorry.
But you're not going to outlet any water to the ponds, what you're saying?
No, sir.
Okay,
yeah.
Not directly from the roadway.
gotcha.
Can you talk us through the stormwater statement, if you don't mind, Carlos?
Basically, this part of the, actually in the Cape Fear, which nitrogen is, I did a nitrogen calc, but it's negligible, but you don't have to have it in Cape Fear. But 33 lots at 15%, 4.85 acres. You back out 1.47 of the road and then divide 33 lots out, and you get 4461 square foot per lot. Is basically what the stormwater statements.
But from a pre and post runoff, you don't have that in here?
I
Or
don't.
am I missing? Okay.
Sir, we'll go through that when stormwater process.
Any other questions?
Does the 50-foot access easement at the end of the cul-de-sac go on to another property? Is that still Pleasant's property?
I've shown it to go to Mr. Pleasant's property.
That is Pleasant's property?
Yes, sir. If you look at the aerial photographs, there's a farm path there that accesses that land, and it goes over the dam and the pond on
I got
Mr.
it.
Pleasant's
Yeah.
property right there.
Gotcha.
So that pond sits right here.
And we had originally given him a 30-foot access. He requested a 50, is my understanding, with their meetings with the client. He can speak. He's here.
All right. Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to be heard on behalf of Turlington Tract? All right. Anyone else as it relates to Turlington Tract? Yes, sir. Give us your name and address, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Ray Pleasant. I'm from 98 Windsor Drive in Angier, and I do own the piece of property where the pond is there. And I've met with your planning department and Mr. Marr, and I've met with the developer some. We've had a lot of discussions, and what they've done with the roads there, I think, as you could see, where the old road came in, we had a 20-foot easement that came through there that I got when my daughter built this red top house over here. She lives out there now on that farm. It's an 87-acre farm out there. And they're putting in the road there, and all that's fine. And they did the 50-foot easement comes on down now the way they've gotten it. As I see it, it corners with, it comes up to my property and Mr. Pollard's property, which is on the right, on the north up there. So it actually provides him access also, because we kind of both would have been cut off, because I'm there at the pond dam, and you can't do but so much there. So we appreciate the developers working with us on that. Also, the state stubbed road that they did there to 50-foot, made sense to us and to your planning department also with regard to further development of that piece of property because of the pond dam and not really wanting to go across there. And we appreciate that, and I think we're, have no problem with the way that is set up now, and we appreciate everybody working with us on that. The one thing that is a concern, I don't know anything about the stormwater you guys are talking about. I'm hoping that in the inspections and all that, and that'll all be looked after. It's way over my head, so I hope that'll be taken care of at a different level, and I trust that it will. Another concern that was immediate, if we can look at the Google again, Google Earth again, if you see there that right across that line, actually there's woods on the property that's being developed there, and so that line goes right through the head, right there at the edge of that pond. And so that's always been a concern of mine, is those people backing up right to the edge of the pond that closely. And so we talked with them about it, okay, berm there. My property has that little triangle on this side of the pond, on the left side of the pond there, that little triangle there, we see the line come down. That's a little triangular section that goes with my property too. So the berms they're talking about, which show to be on, I think, lot 30 and 33 or on that corner. And what I'd like to see is something, if the berm could come on down, at least beyond where that pond is, because the children, the line, as you can see, comes right into the woods, right up very close to the pond, to keep the people away from getting to that pond, for their safety and for everybody's benefit. And just to shield off that pond, that's been a concern from day one. I think that's one of the first things when I went to the planning department and we looked at it on Google Earth is, wow, that pond's right there on it, and it kind of is. So anything that could be done there, I don't know how far, looking at the map that I was given, lots 30 and 30, I don't know how far they go. I understand that they were going to go at least to where the woods start, is what I think that I was told by the developers. And it would be nice if something could go to that corner. But anyway, beyond that, on the other end, I have some photographs here. I don't know if you can put those on anything you got to show or not, but I've got 3 photographs here for the balance of it. And this is on the other side of the pond. The first one you'll see there is right down my line and where those yards are going to be. The left is a field there on the farm, and the right is where these people's backyard is going to be, basically, or come to. Those other pictures I took about maybe a week before the last meeting. I think they were planting peanuts. And on that area, I would like to have some of these just big hedges that grow up big or something. And I've talked with your attorney's office about it. I think I talked with Pointer and Spruill, Chad Essick, I think, from there. And as I read the ordinance, I think there is some problems with requiring a buffer basically between a RA and a residential. I hope that at some point somebody would ask the county to change that, because in this place between the pond, I think they need to have that authority. And here also, I want to be good neighbors with these people, but my concern is if their yard backs up right to that line and that big tractor comes through there and sprays them with that kind of a cloud of dust, that they're going to be complaining to me about it. So I think some hedges that just grow up big and won't blow down would really be great there. But I think it might help me to be a better neighbor to these folks, because I'm afraid I may hear from them if I don't. And so that was another concern with the buffer part of it. But all in all, they've worked with us on the roads, but I do have concerns about the pond and the safety of the pond, and I do have concerns about that. And I don't know all the best things to do about it, but I think any division we can get on the pond that will keep people away from that very edge and to help reduce this dust. And they also came back about a week or two ago and sprayed. They got peanuts planted out there and sprayed that too, and that's another thing going on out there. So any consideration to be given on that, we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
Any questions of Joan?
Is the property in, I see that there is a voluntary ag district down the road. I didn't know if that also included your property or not in the voluntary ag district.
No, mine's not in voluntary ag district.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to be heard as it relates to Turlington Track? All right, bring it back to staff.
From what we looked at in the last day or so, it does seem that it addresses most of our concerns that we had, and it does meet preliminary requirements.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Mr. Little, second by Mr. Hudson. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next we have the McLahose at Little River. I'll look at it.
Is the McLahose at Little River. Owner is Jeffrey Hawley. Developer is Corbin's LLC. Surveyor is Ozzie Gilbert. It's NC Highway 96 North, just north of NC Highway 231 and the O'Neill's Township, served by Corinth Holders Fire and Clayton Rescue. 80.64 acres, 63 lots proposed. Johnston County Public Water, individual septic. Last traffic count recorded was 2,100 vehicles, but that was in 2021. This portion of NC Highway 96 appears on the comprehensive transportation plan as an existing major thoroughfare with adequate design capacity This parcel is within the environmentally sensitive area, and a floodplain appears on a small portion of the parcel. A reverse landscape buffer will be required for lots along NC Highway 96.
Any questions of staff?
No recommendation for turn lanes.
Not at this point.
Okay.
Yes, you can, with that many lots.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir. I'd like to be heard on behalf of Ozzy. I'll let you pronounce it so I quit getting it wrong.
Aussie, you're fine. You pronounced it right. I go by Aussie. Ozzy and a few other
I know your
names
name. I
too.
don't know the name of the subdivision.
It's Maclehose.
Maclehose, okay.
The developer spent a majority, a good portion of his life in Hong Kong. I had to ask too.
All right.
And that is the last governor of Hong Kong, British governor. And they've got a huge park there named after him. And so Maclehose,
Well, I appreciate the history lesson.
I had to learn myself because I didn't know. This one's generally a kind of a surprising subdivision in this area of the world. Normally the soils gets into a lot of rock and stuff, and it's surprisingly great out here. Not a whole lot of issues. We already anticipated the turn lane, and but outside of that, it's I don't know of any other one I've ever had laid out as well as this one did, and has a few as problems as this one. Now, I've been known to bring some problems up here, so. This one's been a pleasure to do, so hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as I did.
Any questions of all? All right. Thanks, sir. Anyone else like to be heard as it relates to the Maclehose at Little River? All right, bring it back to staff.
Staff recommendations, preliminary approval subject to the conditions and requirements in staff report.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion to approve by Ms. Holmes, a second by Mr. Little. Before we take a vote, I think somebody should at least in honor of Nicole.
I was about to do it.
And given that my kids go to Corinth Holder Elementary, go ahead.
Just like to make a note on the record about the enrollment and the capacity numbers for this area. We have definitely approved a lot of subdivisions in the past 6 months that are also in the school district. So just like to make another note of that. But I do appreciate it being 63 lots and not 80.
Yep,
So I did want to make a note of that.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next on our agenda are rezonings. I'll note that we serve as an advisory board to the Board of County Commissioners. So each of these rezoning cases will be heard by the Board of County Commissioners at their
August 5th.
August 5th meeting. So if you are here for any of the rezoning cases, other than we'll see what happens at 2411, but please note that you do need to appear before the Board of County Commissioners, or you may wish to, on August 5th. Again, the first case on our agenda, case 2411, has requested to table. I'll entertain a motion in that regard.
Are they asking for a 30-day table?
Yes, they're out of town right now, so they'll be back July.
I make a motion to table to July 16th for rezoning 2411.
Second.
Motion to table by Ms. Holmes, a second by Mr. Hudson. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, case 15-29, Mr. Marr.
Okay, this is just this doesn't require a vote, it's just a public meeting for the special use modification. It's if you're familiar with the Cleveland area, it's the Food Line Shopping Center on Cleveland Road. It's a petition to modify a special use permit for 1.32 acres located at 245 Macklemore Road in Cleveland Township Zone General Business Special Use to add an allowable use. Owners Macklemore Farms, applicants Denton Lee Jr. Its requested amendment is to add the following allowable uses: medical and/or dental facilities to the existing special use permit. Served by Macklemore Fire and CNS Rescue. It's right now it's zone GB special use district, and this specific parcel is vacant right now. Surrounding land uses zone AR and ARSUD and used for agriculture, residential purposes. Zoned ARSUD and used for senior apartment zone, neighborhood business and used for offices, photography studio, zone community business and used for numerous commercial businesses, and zone general business special use and used as a food line and other retail shopping center. Traffic count for this portion of Cleveland Road is 9,500 vehicles per day. This area is located within a designated medium-density residential place type on the county's envisioned Johnston comprehensive land use plan. There were 5 notices sent out to adjacent property owners, and this came in in 2015 and was allowed for a large variety of just general business uses. They just happened to leave dental and medical off. That's all I have on that.
Sure. Any questions? Anyone like to be heard on behalf of case 15-29? Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure I'm here. I understand you can't deal with. I'm Denton Lee, 2 Annandale Drive, Clayton, NC. I'm the owner of this property. Unfortunately, in 2015, we did not include medical and dental, but we have the opportunity to bring, we have a sale pending on this lot to a pediatric dentist. There's 5 elementary schools within 5 miles of this location, so it's obviously a good use for it. And our hope all along is that some of these lots will become health care related. We'd like to bring health care services to this part. We're limited in the amount of commercial space in the middle of 45,000 residents, which is where we are located. So we would appreciate approval of this change.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to be heard as it relates to case 15-29? All right.
They'll come back August 5th.
Okay.
And that's all I have for that.
All right. All right, case 24-06.
Okay, this is a petition to rezone .64 acre tract located at 4709 NC Highway 50 South in the Meadow Township from AR to community business with conditional zoning. Its owner and applicant's Alton Joseph McLam. Conditional zoning request is auto sales. It's Meadow Fire District, Benson Rescue. Existing land use is zone agriculture, residential, and is a vacant building. Surrounding land use is zone agriculture, residential, and used for those purposes. Zone general business and used as a rental business and several other unknown businesses to the south. Zone community business, special use district, and approved for a museum, gift shop, produce stand, and restaurant grill. Traffic concerns, traffic count for this portion of NC Highway 50 South is 2,600 vehicles per day, and that was in 2021. It appears on the comprehensive transportation plan as an existing major thoroughfare with adequate design capacity. It's located within an agriculture area, future land use place type on the envisioned Johnston comprehensive land use plan. There were 5 notices sent out to adjacent property owners, and that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, staff? Who'd like to be heard on behalf of case 24-06?
I reckon I'm a man of many hats tonight. Buck called me, and your name's Alton? I didn't know that.
Yes, I've had them calling me, are you out there? I've been there about 4 years.
When he called me about this, I'm like, well, it's already zoned commercial because it was always a store when I was growing up. And yes, I'm from this area of the county. So I was kind of a little taken back. But one time I know there was cars sold, like you said, unknown businesses there, but that was many years ago. He's just putting a small used car lot. It's not a whole lot. How many cars?
10, 15 at the most.
Not a whole lot there. Everything's existing. We got the setback back, and no cars will be within 70 foot of 50, I think is what I got on the plat. And so they'll kind of be back away from the road. And I don't know what else to add other than Conditional use. Won't be any late hours.
That was my question. Is he okay with the 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.? Does he need to extend those?
No.
All right.
Ozzy, about how many cars do you anticipate?
Well, that's what you
It says
just said,
15.
about 10 to
15.
15.
Okay, because I didn't see a condition relative to that.
And we didn't put it on there. I'm sure it'll fluctuate.
It's on
He did
number 2.
answer it in the question above, so it does need to be added to the conditions. That was one of his conditions also, so I can add that as number 10 because that's what we agreed upon,
All right,
if you decide to.
let me make sure I'm,
And it says a maximum of 15 vehicles will be on the lot for sale.
So should we add that as number 10 and then the hours of operation is 11?
We already got the hours of operation, it's up there.
Oh, got it. I see it. I see it. Number 3.
And then how many of the structures you said are already existing?
All of them.
All of them?
Yes, ma'am.
all right, did you say maximum of 10 vehicles on the lot for sale?
15.
Or, excuse me,
15.
15, you're right. For sale or total?
That's for sale.
For sale.
Okay.
So there could be a couple more between staff and customers. So that's the lot for sale.
And what is the parcel beside it zoned as, to the left of it, you standing on 50?
It's agriculture residential too, I
Okay.
believe. I think it's grandfathered in as
Isn't that the repair shop?
shop,
Yeah.
I guess one of my concerns, and maybe that goes back to my question about vehicles for sale versus total vehicles on the lot, is obviously there's a lot of vehicles parked around the repair shop there. You know, at least in terms of keeping the appearance and things neat and orderly. Don't want vehicles for repair leaking over onto the side of the car lot. I think it might make more sense to have more of a, I mean, I know for sale is an easy way to define it if you've got customers there, and maybe a condition to no, you know, no storage for the repair, something of that. You can help me with that.
Whose repair shop is it?
How would you suggest we word that, something to the effect of?
Under a buffer.
Propose a
or-
landscape buffer, which is what we got.
I'd say there's
Yeah, there's a
landscape
landscape
buffer around the
buffer.
property.
Okay, yeah, well, that landscape buffer might help separate things.
Yeah, there's a 10-foot buffer already around the edge of the property.
You could add in that no vehicles be stored on the property for repair or maintenance.
That'd be
Good.
something, okay, let's add that condition.
Make that number 11.
Number 1, yeah. Property for repair or maintenance. All right, very good. I think that satisfies my question. Any other questions? Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to be heard as it relates to case 24-06?
Mr. Letchworth, would you confirm that the applicant agrees with the conditions?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, if you don't mind, come up, give us your name and address, we'll make sure you,
Real name, Alton Glenn, 4675 NC Highway 50 South, Benson.
okay. I want to make sure that you agree with the conditions as written in the staff report and with the addition of the maximum of 15 vehicles on the lot for sale and that no vehicles be stored on the property for repair or maintenance.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right. Anyone else like to be heard as it relates to 24-06? All right, bring it back to staff.
Staff recommendation is approval based on the consistency statement in the staff report.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
With the added condition.
Yeah, with the, yeah.
I got them written down. Thank you.
Motion approved by Ms. Holmes, a second by Mr. Hudson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next on our agenda is case 2412.
There's also a conditional zoning case. It's a petition to rezone a 13.15 acre tract located at 726 Denning Road in the Banner Township from agriculture residential to general business conditional zoning. Owner is Neil and Dhanraj Pankoli. Applicants Adams and Hodge Engineering. Its conditional zoning request is an event venue. Utilities and services provided by Elevation Fire District and EVS Rescue Squad. Existing land use is zoned agriculture residential and used for those purposes. Surrounding land use is zoned agriculture residential and used for those purposes. Properties on the opposite side of Denning Road are all in the town of Benson, ETJ. Traffic count for this portion of Denning Road is 3,300 vehicles per day in 2022. This portion of Denning Road does not appear on the comprehensive transportation plan as needing improvement. It's in a rural living future land use place type on the county's envisioned Johnston comprehensive land use plan. There were also 5 notices sent out for this case to adjacent property owners.
Can you pull up to see what the existing house and structures and everything look like?
All right. Any other questions, staff? All right, who'd like to be heard on behalf of case 2412?
Good evening again. Johnny Adams, 314 East Main Street, Clayton, North Carolina. My firm's handling the planning and engineering on this one. As Todd noted, we're requesting approval for a venue. I think the end goal is for it to be a wedding venue, but kind of hard to start out right into that, so it'll be a multiple-use venue. Got what you're looking at. We're improving the existing path that leads to the existing home that's out there. The home will remain in place. This will be a stone driveway over to parking, and then proposing 2 new buildings to be constructed at some point. Not sure if it's an immediate or if it'll be a phase, but big picture plans, proposed enclosed event building, and then another one that is an open pavilion, which is across the wetland area. The dash lines that you see throughout, that's going to be their boardwalk. Almost the majority of it is going to be boardwalk, so that they will be able to cross the wetlands and streams without making any impact. With that being said, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I appreciate you getting the parking as far away from the road as you can.
Plenty of stacking, right?
Well, that, and it's in the center, so, surrounding areas, they might not be on their property.
I have a question for legal. It looks like the hours that they're proposing are from 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. Would that be violating the Johnston County noise ordinance that's at 11 p.m.?
There's no restriction with regards to the the opening of a business with the business hours. Now, of course, if they had amplified music and all of those sorts of things, there could certainly be violations of the noise ordinance. But if I recall correctly, there is a restriction or a condition contained within the application that talks about compliance with the Johnston County noise ordinance. So I would assume that the applicant is aware, since they have proposed that condition, or that condition was contained within the application information that was submitted. But certainly that's something that I would ask Mr. Adams about.
Thank you.
Donnie, can you speak a little more to those hours of operations? We've approved a various number of these over the years, and that strikes me as one of the later hours of operation we've ever been asked to
Yeah.
approve.
Yeah, I agree with that and understand that, and maybe I didn't do a good job of catching it when we were visiting with the applicant. We've had some discussions since then, and I indicated that there may be some concerns here about the late night, so he's not trying to run anything to that point. He's, I guess, jumping into a business, making sure he's covered and not trying to cut anything off short. So, again, I've been given flexibility to discuss that and come up with a more acceptable time frame.
How about midnight?
Midnight, he would be totally fine with midnight.
The farm is midnight. For instance, out on 95, that's midnight. That's where our daughter got married, so
I think that's more reasonable.
Or is that when everybody had to be off the property by
we had to be
midnight?
clean and gone by midnight.
But, right, but I'm saying that's probably where he got the 2 a.m. from, was so then that way if any staff had to go back behind guests to make sure that they were
Well, that's a
cleaned
good
up.
point.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, like, if guests had to be off by midnight, you still gotta make sure all of their stuff was out
Events
of the
have
way.
to end
the
at
event-
midnight.
Then you still have staff to make sure to go behind and make sure everything did get picked up. So that's probably why it did too.
Or they're
It's-
washing dishes or something until 2 a.m.
Right.
I agree, you're
I'm just-
right,
I'm just trying to see both sides.
but
That is really late.
I feel like midnight is much more consistent with what we've approved around the county in the past.
I 100% agree.
So do I.
So off the property by midnight.
Yeah,
Event
the hours
ends
of
at midnight
operation.
with everybody gone.
Yeah, they cease operations at midnight. Do they plan to inhabit a house? Is that?
Yes, that's the intention currently, is that it'd be like an owner-operator, on-site owner-operator.
Okay. So the residential use of the structure will remain?
Yes.
Okay.
And would the parking be gravel or is it still gonna just be like field?
It'll be gravel.
Okay. A lot of stones be toted in.
That's a little stone.
Better than a lot of asphalt.
That's right.
Well, it's got the
It's got
parking.
asphalt
The parking
for-
is asphalt or concrete on the drawing.
For, well, the handicap is saying.
Oh, okay.
It's only
Yeah,
on
I got you.
asphalt.
General parking's,
General parking.
ABC stone. Right. Sorry.
So have you reviewed and agree with the conditions with the one amendment to 12?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. Any other questions? Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to be heard as it relates to rezoning case 24-12? All right, bring it back to staff.
Staff recommendations approval based on the consistency statement and staff report.
I'll make a motion to approve based on changing the stop time till 12 a.m.
Second.
Motion approved by Mr. Hudson, second by Ms. Holmes. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Anything else for us this evening, sir? Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. All right, we'll start with Erbsworth 1B.
I make a motion to approve the written decision.
Second. All right, I'll try to pick one out. Motion approved by Ms. Holmes, second by Mr. Crenshaw. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next we'll do Gammon Track. We'll start with.
That was me.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Mr. Little, second by Ms. Holmes. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Anything else for us this evening, sir? Thank you. Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir.
Here's Ben.